Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is a Wednesday, a lovely Wednesday outside, and we have a lovely guest with us today. Our good friend Bree Jenkins is here, and we are going to talk about something so fun this weekend. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun and cute. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. First off, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I am Bree Jenkins. I am married to the very famous Mr. Aaron Jenkins.
Infamous. We'll go with that.
And we live in Jackson with our two boys, and I will be one of the new high school science teachers at Jackson High School this coming year.
You're one of those folks that actually like science.
I do love science.
I always did too. So I'm with you, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. But we're not here to, what's a fun scientific question to ask somebody?
Ooh. I like to debunk a lot of non-science.
Okay.
So something that has caught my eye recently is there was some plane turbulence, and the articles about the plane turbulence event said that Earth's gravity changed. And that cannot happen. So a question I have is, why are multiple news outlet sources saying Earth's gravity change was the cause of the plane turbulence?
Because they read it on the internet somewhere.
So that's a fun one, a
That
physics
is
one
crazy.
to think
Yeah,
about.
I mean, I'm guessing that the Earth pretty much stays the same. The gravity stays the same.
Yeah, gravitational acceleration is a constant. So that one has baffled me for a couple of weeks now. So
You need to make a call. Just be like, hey,
Probably.
this is Bree Jenkins in Jackson, Ohio. I got something to tell you people.
major airlines, but yeah.
No, that's so exciting. So you'll be a science teacher here in Jackson in high school?
High school.
Okay, so what do high school science students teach or learn? What do you teach them?
So I have taught a lot of things. So I think I'll primarily be teaching biology and maybe some environmental science at Jackson High School.
Awesome.
I've taught physics and chemistry, and I adjunct at Rio as well.
That I get the biology and whatever. When I got to the chemistry and the physics,
The math sciences.
they lost
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Math I could do, science I could do, mixing them together, I don't know about that. But no, I really enjoyed biology growing up, and Mrs. Richards taught us. Hi, Mrs. Richards. But anyway, that's not why you're here to talk, but it's always fun to find out what our guests are into in their real lives. But you are here to talk about something really, really fun coming up this Saturday. Number one, major announcement. It is the beginning of our Jackson Farmers Market.
Yes.
Yes. Finally. I mean, it's the end of June. Always here. But we're having something cool at the farmers market.
Yes, so I am part of a new group called Jackson County Forward, and our goal is to bring healthy and new initiatives to Jackson to increase outdoor recreation possibilities or tourism and just impact our region in a good way.
Yes.
So this is one of our kind of first major events that we've collaborated on, and it is the Family Community Bike Ride. It starts at the Farmers Market at Eddie Jones Park at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Woohoo!
Yes, and we have Holzer bringing snacks. We have lemonade from the spot. And we have the library outreach van is helping pass out helmets.
Yes. For free.
For free. We have 75 helmets that we're giving away for free.
Yes.
And those were donated by the Ohio chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Say that again 5 times fast. I won't make you.
Quite the title, yes.
Yes, it is. No, that is really so cool. And Those helmets are for our little ones. So you said what? Small and extra?
Small and extra small.
Okay, so you can have your child, bring your child,
we
have them fitted.
Yes.
Find out what size that they would wear, and just check out that library outreach van. You know, the one with the pretty animals on the side of it.
Yes.
Cute ones. They're so cute. So let's talk about Jackson County Forward for a minute. How did that organization come to be, or that group?
I have literally only attended one meeting because I have recently found out about Jackson County Forward.
But it's so good.
It is. And I think there's a lot of different goals there, but it's all for the common good of Jackson and the community members. So I'm leaning more towards the recreational spaces outdoor.
Yeah.
So some hopes of ours are to bring a bike path to Jackson County, so that way we have somewhere safe for kids to ride bikes and get outside with the family and have some free opportunities, to engage in.
Love that. And we did start the bike path here years ago, and unfortunately, it is kind of the bike path to nowhere. And it also is in our beautiful, but shall we say, flood-prone Eddie Jones Park, which half the time spends its time underwater. So, if we could get branched out a little bit, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people have said that over the years and wanted to do it, but there was never really like a group or a conglomeration of people that got together that were trying to make things happen. So that's where this group is coming from.
Absolutely. And we have some powerful people that are really just working really hard to get grant monies and to, get advice from, the experts in the fields that would help us accomplish that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It does take a village or an army. And if you can just get some people together to try to do that instead of one person trying to do it is pretty tough.
Absolutely.
Or a government entity trying to do it, the mayor's office or whatever. It's almost impossible to do that. So I think they have a few other fish to fry. Yeah. So it takes us individuals here in the community. So let's talk about the bike ride for a moment, because it's really cool. It's going to be led by the Jackson Police Department.
Yes. So it will be an open road course, so we're not shutting down the roads, but we do have the police. So before we take off on the bike ride, the police department is going to go over hand signals for us and just remind us of proper bike etiquette, just so we can be safe out there. And so we'll ride as a group through the course and kind of circle back and end back at Eddie Jones / the Farmers Market, where we hope that bikers will take advantage of all the awesome things for sale at the Farmers Market.
Yeah, if you have not attended the Jackson Farmers Market, it is absolutely lovely. There's such a wide array of things for you, from baked goods to obviously produce. A lot of times there's like local beef or things like that there, honey, all kind of cool things, flowers, all the things that you would assume are at a farmer's market.
Absolutely. And again, the goal is to support the community. So this is just kind of a way to tie two community events together.
Love that. So, and there's plenty of parking there, which is great. So you can just either ride, if you don't live in town, of course, you have room to park your car, get your bikes out, and then ride them. Or you can just ride your bikes there if you live in town, and then participate in the thing. I love that the police are into it too. And like teaching the bike etiquette and stuff, because I think a lot of people, we probably all learned that when we were 4, but haven't learned it since.
Right. Yes.
So that's a whole thing too. Are there any like rules or anything, like can people walk, or, what do you, is there anything that people can't do?
So I don't actually know the answer to that question, but I'm going to say this is open to all people.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a bike, if you're not comfortable riding a bike and you want to tag along and walk a little bit at the end, or, if you're child is more comfortable on a scooter than a bike, join the end. I think there's no problem with doing that. The course loops back on itself. So I think, you can kind of cut over as you need to, especially with the little ones who might not be able to bike a 5K or scoot on a scooter on a 5K. So all are welcome.
Adults that can't walk it either. Let's blame the kids, but really we're trying to get out of it ourselves. No, but no, that's an excellent point too, that if you do have a little one, no problem. Jackson's pretty easy to cut that course in half or whatever, and then end up right back there.
Absolutely. Yes.
So very, very good. This is going to be such a fun thing. And you can come and pick up a free bicycle helmet for your kids, which could be costly.
Absolutely. So we have 75 available in sizes small and extra small. So we will measure your child and send them home with a helmet that fits.
Or I guess if you're an adult with a really tiny head, you could fit in one of them too.
They're pretty small, but yeah, maybe.
We'd be worried about you if that would fit you. But okay, so I didn't know like the scooters, are kids still into that? What about like you could skateboard? You could do all kind of fun stuff. Just come participate.
Yes, and we do recommend helmets being worn by both adults and kids. Not required, but obviously if your kiddo doesn't have a helmet, we would love for you to stop by the library outreach van and hopefully get to take one home.
Yeah, that's a whole thing, and better be safe than sorry, right?
Absolutely.
Why not? Okay, so how can someone join up the Jackson County Forward group if they're like, wow, didn't know that was a thing. I'm very interested in that, participating. How would you do it?
So I am relatively new as well, but we do have a page on Facebook, Jackson County Forward. There's also a new Jackson County Tourism Bureau, so feel free to add that as well. And we're kind of gearing up both things at the same time. Mm-hmm. So like I said, Jackson County Forward has kind of different sectors within the group. So some folks work on the tourism aspects and preserving historical roads and different parts of Jackson County. So I think there's something for everybody to get involved in there.
Sure. And it's a lot of cool, interesting people coming together for the greater good, and hope that you all will think about participating because there's power in numbers.
Absolutely. And just even with, if someone has expertise or just knowledge of the area and the history, those things are really helpful.
Yeah. Or you just happen to be a grant writer. Boy, that would be helpful.
We would take you in a heartbeat, 1,000%.
That's a whole thing in itself, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I noticed that Hayden had put up a picture of some bicycles, and I happen to have inside knowledge of those bicycles because they're here in this building, I believe.
Yes.
So you do have maybe a couple of extra bikes, adult bikes, in case somebody needs one for this event?
Yes. So these are loaner bicycles that are available for the ride. So you would get to loan them out at the beginning of the ride, and then you return them at the end.
Like you sign it out.
You sign it out. Mm-hmm.
Bring it back.
And just to clarify, the helmets are actually take home for the kids.
Yes.
So these bikes are loaners, but helmets are take home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know whether I should speak for the group or not, but the idea of collecting these bicycles and hopefully many others, if you have some bicycles in your garage that are kind of collecting some dust, still usable, this group is certainly very willing to take them off your hands. Mm-hmm. Or even if it needs like a new chain or something, I think you all have some people doing some repairs of the bikes, but the whole point is to hopefully put these bikes around town so that people, when they're out and about, or they can come to a particular place, check a bike out, go on a bike ride, bring it back.
Absolutely. Right. We want to improve just accessibility to the bikes. And I will put a plug in here that we can always use help working on the bikes. Yes. So if you are handy, please get a hold of us. We would take you.
Absolutely. I know last time I talked with Kay, I think she said that there was one person that had kind of volunteered, but that could be an ongoing, definite thing.
Absolutely.
So yes, if you are handy dandy and know about bicycle repair, that would be a fantastic thing. But I love that I know we had I would talk with Kay how about even doing some like fun bike racks at businesses throughout town? And I said I would love to have some at the brewery, so that people could, you know, take a ride, come back, maybe have some lunch or a drink or something, and then bring the bikes back. And I think that's kind of the point, is to just put them different places maybe, and have them accessible to people.
Right. And the police department has been really available and willing to help with this, and have said, you know, we can make this more than a once a year event if
Love
we want
that.
to have it a couple times a month, or maybe even, you know, if we get a big enough following, once a week, you know,
Yeah.
whoever's around on the weekend. So we would like to make this, you know, just a community event that everyone can join in on and feel comfortable with.
Yes. So let's kill it on Saturday morning. So I have to admit, I cannot tell you the last time that I rode a bicycle. But you know the old saying, it's just like riding a bike, right? You don't forget. I don't know, do you?
Well, it's Wednesday right now, right? So you have 2 days to practice. So practice now. And
They make adult training wheels.
they might. I have
they
a few
do.
sets of those in my garage if you would like a pair.
I'll be calling you later.
But if you're not feeling confident on a bike, you know, like I said, you're welcome to join the back of the group if you need a little more space, or if you want to do something else, you know, walk or ride a scooter or something like that. You're welcome.
skateboard, do whatever. Bring your Segway. Does anyone around here have a Segway?
I do not have a Segway.
I do not have
No,
a Segway either.
no.
I think they're pretty expensive. Have you ever been like anywhere and seen like the Segway groups and watched the people wipe out? It's so fun.
It always brings Mall Cop to my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paul Blart.
Yeah, absolutely.
On his Segway. That's what we should do. Get Segways for the town, and people could zoom around. And no,
I feel like that'd be more dangerous than a bicycle.
I think it would be, and it's also not really exercising.
That
You're just
also,
riding
yeah.
along,
That
not-
whole aspect is gone.
that might defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do here. So anyway, but okay. Well, are there any other goals while you're here to talk about the group? I know that you're fairly new to the group, but anything that you've heard them mentioning or talking about that you would like to pass along while you're here?
Sure. So again, I'm kind of on the outdoor team of people on Jackson County Forward, but we're hoping to do something called a waterfall challenge. It's one of the things we discussed at our last meeting.
What?
Because we have the famous waterfall at Lake Catherine, but there are actually many more waterfalls in Jackson County, including at the Colton Wildlife Area. And because the Colton Wildlife Area is, I mean, obviously large and lots of unmarked trails and things like that, one of our goals is to get the community out and exploring all of the places in Jackson County, and maybe, you know, have eventually some small trail markers there or some sort of app that people can use to get out and see some of the things that they've never seen in our county.
Yeah, because if you're not blessed enough to have Dennis Reinhardt out taking you on a guided tour, you're probably going to get lost or not know where to go out.
And it is, yeah, Dennis is our expert when it comes to this.
Yes, he is. If there's a really cool place in Jackson County, he knows about it.
Right.
He knows how to get to it.
Yes.
Although he has told me some stories about getting stuck in brush and God knows what, not knowing, ending up like on a highway somewhere as you.
It does happen if you hike, yes.
It does. I don't know. I'll end up on a road at some point, I hope. But no, that's a really good idea because, you know, again, we are so close to Hocking Hills. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that we are part of Hocking Hills. And, you know, it is one of the #1 tourist attractions in the United States. Y'all may not believe that, but it's true. And there's so much uncharted beauty right here within our county that probably hasn't even been explored or people don't know about. So that would be great.
In the new trail, is it Whispering Cave or Whispering Cove?
At Lake Catherine?
At Hocking Hills.
at Hocking Hills.
Which just ranked, I believe, #1 in the nation.
Okay, I have
So-
not been there. Is that close? Is that like the Old Man's Cave part or is it somewhere else?
It's accessible from the lodge. I do know that. I saw signs for it last week when I was there. And my husband hiked it, and actually just a small portion of it, and said it was one of the best hikes he has ever been on. And my husband is a hunter, fisher extraordinaire. And so he, has been all over Colton Wildlife Area and knows all of that. And so for him to say it was one of the best, most beautiful hikes he's ever been on was really saying something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
see, and it's all in our backyard.
It is. It is.
So get out and about and enjoy. But no, the whole thing is we hope that you come out this coming Saturday. See Bree, she'll be there.
I will be at the library van helping with helmets with my son.
That's exactly right. And of course, take advantage of the Jackson Farmers Market, which will be doing its annual opening this coming weekend. And, it's just so fun to see all of the things that our local people get into.
Absolutely.
It just blows my mind. Baking and I don't know, it's wild.
And as a newcomer to the area, I say newcomer lightly. I've been here for going on 13 years.
A few years.
But I didn't grow up here. And
Where did you grow up?
Near Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, I knew you were from up north somewhere.
And my husband also is not from here. He's a newcomer as well. He's from Dayton.
How did you guys end up in Jackson?
Funny story. My husband is a first grade teacher. And so at the time...
Which is a funny story, by the way.
Which is a funny story in itself.
Yeah. If you know him, it's a real funny
He's a large child sometimes, in the best way possible. Yeah. But when he was looking for a teaching job, they were very slim. And so I actually remember driving with him to Jackson. And I thought, there's no way we're still in Ohio. We've had to have crossed the state line somewhere. We are not in Ohio still, because northern Ohio just is so different, so flat, and
anywhere south of I-70 isn't Ohio anymore.
Right. So the hills and the curves and the animals everywhere. I was like, oh my goodness. But he ended up getting the job in Jackson, and we kind of thought we would get a year or two of experience under our belts and then move away. And, we learned about Lake Catherine, and we hike and we kayak, and we just love doing all the things Jackson has to offer. And it kept us here for almost 13 years.
Yeah. Now you have 2 little ones, and it's home.
It is. It is.
I have laughed about this, and I can remember it every time, just like it was yesterday, of bringing because I went to Capital, which is in Columbus, so many of the folks are from Northern Ohio or whatever, and you bring your friends home, right, for Apple Festival or whatever, and they would be like, what is going on? There's nothing but corn. And I'm like, and cows. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we've never seen that before. And I'm like, what?
Corn and cows are pretty common where I'm from, so that wasn't as much of a shock. The hills were the shock for me. The hills, but I love the hills. Yeah. I love them.
That's what makes us unique.
It is.
It's not boring, that's for sure.
It isn't. And, and it's interesting that sometimes my husband and I will be talking to people, and they won't know about Lake Catherine. And they've grown up in Jackson, or they won't know about little trails and, places to kayak. And so I think there's a lot that is undiscovered to the community here. And so hopefully Jackson County Forward can, some of our projects can become reality and help people see all these cool things.
And I think you're exactly right about that, because I was just thinking, kayaking out at Lake Hammertown, it is one of the most beautiful bodies of water. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Crystal clear. It is our drinking source, so thank God. But no, the city and everyone has just put in that new kayak launch, so you don't bust your rear end when you're trying to get into your kayak, because that was a very humbling experience trying to get in your kayak off that.
I had a snake crawl into one of mine one time, so.
Oh no, that would have been the end for me. But yeah, I can remember you're on this concrete ramp thing, and you're trying to it's just not really conducive to that. So yeah, so all of these fun things that we're doing around our area, we hope that people get out and explore, and that's what your group's all about.
And also at Hammertown, the trails,
The horse trails.
The horse trails have been improved recently.
Yes.
And so they are safe for trail runners. And horses, they just ask no mountain bikes there right now just because that spooks horses and whatnot.
Yes,
But
and definitely no motorized vehicles.
right. Yeah, and the trails, and they're small trails, so they're only wide enough for you to run or for a horse to be on, but they have been recently maintained and they're beautiful.
Absolutely. So again, it's just like in our backyard, the local beauty. Speaking of, did anybody get a picture of the horses on Main Street yesterday?
There's a picture from the spot if you want me to grab it.
Yeah. So I am leaving the brewery yesterday afternoon, and I'm driving down Main Street, and of course, many of you all know I grew up showing horses. So I'm like, I'm like tired just after lunch, and I'm like, okay, what all do I have to do on my way home? And I'm driving down Main Street, and I get to like Andrea's, and I look up, and all I see is a horse's butt. And I'm like, this is one you don't see every day. And there is a very handsome young man riding his horse with his cowboy hat on and whatnot down the middle of Main Street. And I'm like, right behind him, and I'm like, well, And I look over, and there's some other very handsome young men on their horses as well. And then I see a photographer, and I have no idea what they were doing, but it was just, there you go. And the spot brought them coffee. So I don't know. I think they were with the Diamond J Rodeo, and they were doing it appeared to me they were doing kind of a photo shoot, but it was just so fun. Curbside delivery. Thank you to the spot. And, it was just one that you don't see every day, a horse's rear end in front of you on Main Street. So there you go. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that.
I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. So I'm like texting Jamie. I'm like, I'm behind a horse on Main Street. I'm like, so cool.
So I'm from farm country up north. So, when you saw pigs and cows on a downtown street, it's like, oh, someone's fence broke or something like that. So, but no, I've not seen horses out.
No, you just don't see that every day. So there you go. But, well, Bree, thank you so much for coming in and hanging with us this morning. We greatly appreciate it. And we hope that everybody gets out to the bike ride this coming Saturday. Again, it begins at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick up those free bicycle helmets for your kids. Just check out the library van, and that's where they'll be. And you'll see this beautiful lady helping pass them out. And if you want to walk, if you want to ride the scooters, if you want to ride your skateboard, if you want to do whatever, just come out and participate. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all about the community coming out, having a good time, support your farmers market, and get out and move your butts.
And have a good time.
What happens if it's raining? We still going to go?
I would say we're still a go. I'm going to make that executive call, I guess, right now on the
No,
spot.
I think it's fine.
Right. I think lightning would delay, obviously. But, yeah, so far so good with the weather. So we're just going to hope for the best and go for it.
None of us are that sweet. We won't melt.
I don't think any of us will melt. Yeah,
No, I
it'll be
don't think so. All right. Well, thank you, Bree. And if anybody has any questions, can they message the Facebook page or?
So I'm not actually sure which one of our leaders kind of runs the Facebook page. They can message me.
Okay.
Bree Jenkins. Yeah.
Okay. Find
That would
her
be
on
fine.
Facebook or whatever. Or her hubby. Everybody knows him, so.
I think he's hidden. So we try to lay low on social media.
Lay low. All right. Well, very good. Well, thank you for being here. And let's hear a message from our friends at Vinton County Bank, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right. Well, let's come back and thanks, Bree. See ya. Let's do this weather forecast because it is again a little bit all over the place. I mean, I guess a few degrees cooler than it was last week. We'll take it. But today they are calling for a 90% chance of rain today with highs of 85 degrees. And tomorrow on Thursday, much better with partly cloudy skies, highs of 83. And then Friday, Saturday, we get back up into around 90 degrees. So, but then it looks like Sunday, Monday, a little bit cooler. So we'll take that. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, we have another intern and our sweet Tanya here. And this may be a little confusing because there's another intern that looks just like this intern.
Mm-hmm.
But
The whole twin thing.
the whole twin thing, it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Not weird. It's cool.
It's
It is
kind of
pretty
weird.
cool.
No, it's cool.
If you're a first-time viewer of the twins,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
You're like, which
because
wait,
it's-
what?
like sometimes I appreciate it when you wear your hair up because that's how I can tell the two of you apart.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I always have my hair
Yeah.
up, so it doesn't really matter.
There have been a couple times when I've seen you both with your hair down, and I'm like, "Gosh darn it, girls!
That
I'm
I know.
old. Don't do this to
What are
me."
you doing? So another intern here, and this is Leah.
Howdy.
And howdy, Willett. And you are daughter of Miss Cora and Josh, and sister of Ella, who has also been here on the program. If you all remember, she's the evil one that brought in all those horrible drinks and made us do them here on the show.
Oh, I remember
I
that.
remember her doing
The
that.
pickles.
I had
soda
just
and
I had just
the-
started when that happened.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
She brought in pop that tasted like blue cheese. Yep, there she is.
That's very blue.
That's the other one.
Yeah. She brought them home afterwards if they were leftover and made me try them too. So I was there with you.
Ugh.
No,
So
thank you.
nasty. Hey, by the way, I want to give a shout out to my hubby today. It's his birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, James.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
You making him work today?
No, we're off today. It's Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I'm making him mow grass and,
Maybe he'll not get out of bed until after it starts raining, so it won't have to happen.
oh, he's already been
Yeah.
out of bed. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do.
He
Days off. no-
rise
yeah.
and shine, buddy.
You need to bring him on the show sometime.
We do. We could just embarrass the tar out of him.
We
could
could
talk
make-
about Daisy Duke.
We could
and-
make him cook.
We could. He'd embarrass us.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's really good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I like really good food.
Yeah, me too. So, Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself because you actually were part of the Jackson High School girls basketball team
I
that
was.
did so well this year. Talk about that for a minute. That had to be exciting.
Yeah, I played basketball for Jackson for 6+ years, and I've been on JV all of the years, but it's an amazing experience. I got to play with them the 7th and 8th grade years when we won the championships, and I've been on the sideline cheering them on for all of the high school years, winning all the championships and everything else, and then finally senior year I got to be on the team, and we
Awesome.
went very, very far, and it was wonderful.
You guys did a great job, and that has to be so exciting. Kudos to you all, and of course the coaches, Matt, and everybody else that had a hand in that. And they're just going to continue on, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a twin.
Ooh.
Is it like there has to be so many emotions involved with that, right?
Well, the hard part about asking me about being a twin is I don't know any different. Like, I've never been
Well
Ooh.
put.
a single human. I have always had my little
Double.
Your sidekick.
my little double.
Yeah.
So, which we're not really double anymore. We used to be very, very,
double.
identical.
Yeah.
And then over the years, it's kind of morphed into our own people. But
Because you guys are definitely your own people.
yes, very much so.
And an opposite in personalities.
yes.
How is that where everything in your bodies are identical, right? Your DNA, everything is identical except for your brains, obviously, because the way you think and the way you act and your personalities and stuff are so different. And that's a good thing.
My mom always says nature versus nurture. I'm very much a independent, like, will go on my own and go do something and like not be home all day and go to work and do that. And Ella is very much she's more of a homebody than I am. She's not a homebody at all, but she's definitely home a lot more than I am. And it's the whole, she's going to go follow in my parents' footsteps, and she's going to go be a music ed major, and I'm going to go do something completely different.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I'm going to go be a biomedical engineer, so I'm going to engineer like prosthetics and artificial heart valves and all the little pieces of everything that go into somebody during surgery and so I'm like my mom says, nature versus nurture. It's just kind of, yeah.
That is wild. So how did you get into that kind of thing?
I asked her this question. This is an interesting answer.
It's going to be a little bit of a tangent, but
please
it's kind of weird.
We love that.
So there was a research project that I was doing, like a news of the day or something, that like I had to do a research project in my college success class, and we had to do a science news that was current events. And I was looking at a research project that I don't remember what college, I think it was like either Columbia or Purdue, were doing a thing where, so when spiders die, they close up and they shrink up. And they're actually controlled by basically hydraulics with their blood, and you can push fluid back into them and make them like reanimate. And it's really cool. So they were using like injecting
so as
the spider.
They're dead, they're injecting them to make them open back up.
Open back like a claw machine. And so they're using that kind of hydraulic technology, and they were trying to experiment with that and see if they could get that to like attach to, say, nerve software and make a prosthetic arm or something that's hydraulic controlled with nerve pressure, and that kind of with your
own blood.
So you're using your blood as hydraulics to reanimate a limb that is artificial, and it was kind of it just sparked something crazy in me. I'm like, I've got to learn more about this, and it's kind of expanded. So we talked about this whenever I was writing my little bio, but they said, so I've been inspired by a spider, which is
what inspires
the
you?
weirdest thing.
A spider. A dead spider.
A dead spider.
The functioning limbs of a dead spider.
Yeah, inspired me to go
love this.
Engineering school for 5 years and get my master's in biomedical engineering and go to that field. So
good for you.
I mean, that's going to change lives.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Good.
But
I
that's
have no doubt that you will.
And you can have all the spiders you want.
Yeah.
I am not a spider person.
I mean, I'll take the dead spiders, not the live ones.
You can have all of them.
I don't like spiders, but it was cool.
Now, do you have an appreciation for them, right?
Yes.
Well, very good. So you were headed off to what school?
Wright State University.
To Wright State. And see, that's in Dayton, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very, very cool. And again, as twins, it was, are we going to go to the same college? Are we not? And I don't think that there was any question, if anybody knows you, too, that you were not going to the same college.
It was very much we're gonna go try and be our own people for a little while. We'll still definitely keep in contact with each other and everything. Like, I expect calls from Ella. I know she doesn't think that I think that, but I will miss her if she does not call me.
Well, and that's the thing, like, I wonder how that will be for you two, like, because you have lived together all your lives, and then being separated, it will be like, oh my gosh, I'm my own person for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
On a different level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm currently out of the house a lot because I hang out with my fiance a lot. But I haven't seen Ella other than at work in 2 or 3 days. So, because she's always asleep by the time I get home. So, I'm kind of moving my way out already. and getting adjusted to not seeing her a bunch
Yeah.
and seeing my family a bunch. But I know that jump from moving out is going to be very,
It's-
very hard. And
It will. It'll be an adjustment.
yes.
But I think that you guys it will be a welcome one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your internship for a moment and talk
Yeah.
about some of the things that you are doing here and that you've done and are looking forward to. And then Pete's here, so we'll be doing some news.
My favorite part of the interning is the setup and teardown. That I'm very much a hands-on person, and I like seeing how things like the wires connect.
Like the
and-
mechanical
Yeah.
stuff of it.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. So, and looking at how they adjust the slide board, and I learned how to set up a Roadcaster, and that it's got way too many buttons. I don't know what to do with it, and
Just push them all.
but it's
Let's see what happens.
And then call Dylan.
Yeah, and
Yes,
then
and then
call
call
Dylan. I don't know. I pushed all the buttons. It's not working.
but I'm very much I want to go drag the tent to the wherever we're going, or set up the tables and try and get all the things out of the boxes as quickly as possible. That's very much the side that I'm in. I'm not a very social person as much as I'm on the kind of TV right now. I'm not a
I get
social
it. You don't want to
person.
be like in the limelight, like out in the
Right.
front part
Like,
of it.
She's
I'm-
behind the scenes
Yeah.
girl.
Yes.
She's a hard worker.
I'm very much not a go run up to somebody and give them a koozie, but if
Make
I
sure the
have
mic
to, I
works.
definitely will, and I'll sit there and test the mic all day
Yeah.
and make sure everything is connected properly and make sure the tent isn't gonna blow away and the tables are locked.
Yeah.
All of those things are
Gotcha.
more my style.
And she's very detail oriented.
I can
Yes.
see that.
One of the things that we were talking about on the radio a little bit ago is tomorrow evening we'll be at 601 for the street team. We'll be live streaming the trivia night.
Yes.
And we've invited their families so the families can see what they're doing because we're about ready to kick off a fair season.
Yeah.
And we're not going to see much of them. Plus, as a whole group, they're not going to see much of each other because they're going to
Right.
start
They're going to be
separating.
spread out.
Yes, we
Thin.
Athens, Jackson, Gallia, Meggs, Ross, Pike. I mean, they're all over the place coming up starting in July. And some days we're going to have kids in all places at the same time.
Yes.
So this is kind of their hoorah event.
Yeah.
To let everybody
Enjoy
see
and have fun.
what they've learned so far, and to make sure that as their employer, that they're set up and ready to go with the tools they need when they branch off like college kids on their own.
I know. Our babies are all growing up.
Yeah. So anybody who would love to come and watch these wonderful young adults do what they've been able to learn over the last few weeks, we're going to be at 601 from 7 to 9 tomorrow evening. We're live streaming, so if you can't make it to have some of the phenomenal food we've got there, hop on. I think we're going to go live on Total Media
I believe
Facebook
so.
page or Stockroom Facebook page.
I think it's
Yeah, so the Stockroom Facebook page. If you can't get there and you want to enjoy Golden Girls Trivia Night, so just
Bring it on.
yeah, it'll be a good time. All 12 kids will be there. All 12 young adults will be there, showing off to their families and eating lots of food and having fun. So come join us.
Very cool. Awesome. Was there anything else you want to tell our viewers while you're here?
I don't know if he's watching at all or if anyone is watching, but I know we can play it back. So, shout out, happy birthday to my cousin Connor. Is his birthday today?
How old is he?
Hey.
I don't know. That's awful.
A few
I don't
years
know.
old.
A few years younger than I am, but close.
Is he driving yet?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Happy birthday,
But
Connor.
happy birthday, Connor, and shout out, Mom and Dad.
Sup. Yo.
Even
All
though they're
right.
in the other room.
I know, right?
Whatever. It's worth it.
That's awesome.
They'll watch later.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Say,
will.
oh.
Well, Leah, thank you for spending your morning with us. It's always fun talking with you, and then we'll bring Pete over. So, and then get back to work. You're supposed to
Oh,
be
yeah.
Learning.
setting stuff up, learning, not hanging out with us delinquents in here.
But it's so fun.
I know, right?
It's a work hard, play hard, isn't it?
Yep,
Yep.
it is.
Very
It
much
is.
so.
Thank you.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you, girls.
Your turn.
And come on over, Pete. We'll do news. Yeah, Pete.
Hello there. How we doing?
We're great. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. And leave those pants, Tanya. Okay. I like her pants a lot. So I told her to leave them.
Okay.
It's a long story.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, as we have said on past news sessions this week, we want to keep you up on the very latest.
Yes.
Because we are out all the time, just like those interns doing things.
That's right.
And last night, Jeremiah Shaver was at the Jackson City School Board meeting. They meet once a month, and so there's
they
always
meet during the summer too.
always. Oh yes, oh
Okay.
yes. There are always important things happening on the school front. Vinton County Commissioners met yesterday. Red Thompson Jr. was there, so we'll give you a highlight from there. And also, he double dipped last evening. The Oak Hill Village Council met and had an important discussion as well. So we're going to give you a real quick rundown on what happened at each of those meetings. And there's also meetings today. So let's see what we can cram into the last 12 minutes here.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, one of the things that happened at the school board meeting last night in Jackson was, and this is very important, not a whole lot was said, but we'll give you the skinny on the details. New labor contracts were approved for the teachers union, that's the Jackson City Education Association.
Okay.
And for the non-teaching unionized employees, and that is most of the full-time staff other than the teachers. Anyway, the contract for the teachers is a 2-year contract. It will start on August the 1st this year and will run through July 30th, 2026. And the base agreement, the financial aspects are always an important part, of course, of any labor contract. A 3% salary increase, on the salary schedule for the first year, and then a one-time bonus for employees who have taken the district's insurance during the last decade. There's some extra money in the insurance fund, and they are doing a one-time bonus for the teachers. So it's 3% and 3% for the next 2 years on the base salary schedule, plus a bonus for the insurance. For the non-teaching unionized employees, represented by the Ohio Association of Public School Employees Union, better known as OPSE, it's a little bit different. It is a 2-year contract, same term, August 1st, 2024 through July 30th, 2026, an 86 cents per hour increase because they get paid on the hour.
Okay.
86 cents per hour for year one. Year two, they go to 3%.
Okay.
And then they're also eligible for the insurance bonus if they have taken the insurance. So that was one of the things that came out of the school board meeting. There were many other things. When you report a school board meeting, you could write one really long story, or you could write 5 to 10 short stories.
Little ones,
so, we'll be telling you more about that, as the week goes on. But that was maybe the main news item from last night's school board meeting. Last night's Oak Hill Village Council meeting, of course, one of the big things with the village every year is the operation of the Margaret Ann Pool. That Jackson and Oak Hill are both very lucky. You have very few municipal pools anymore.
Yes.
You've got one here in Jackson, operated by the city of Jackson. You've got one in Oak Hill, operated by the village of Oak Hill, which by the way, the voters in Oak Hill have been very generous, supporting that with a recreation/pool levy. But it is basically to keep the pool running. And that keeps the prices down because they have the tax money there. That allows more kids and families to participate because they don't have to get the user fee to, pay for the operation of the pool, at least the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But one of the discussions they had last night, the pool opened late. It didn't get to open on Memorial Day weekend as they had hoped. It opened the next week, the weekend of June 8th and 9th. And what they hope to do is they're going to make plans so maybe that doesn't happen again. Start a little bit earlier, getting ready for the pool. That includes any physical improvements that need to be made to the pool. Sure. Also, both Mayor Paul McNeil and pool manager Joy Hale, and she normally goes to these council meetings during the pool season, they are both seeking grants
Okay.
to try to do major renovation work at the pool. That pool was built back in 1961, and it's still
A few
going.
years ago.
Yeah, obviously they've made improvements along the way, because things wear out. But the pool was basically a gift from the Davis family, which
Yes.
has been, so important to Oak Hill through the years. And even though they have the pool levy, that basically covers operations or part of operations. To do the really big stuff, and the village is going to have trouble paying for that out of the village fund. So obviously they're doing what any government wants to do. If they can get money from the outside to fund these big ticket items, that's what they're going to try to do. So that is the story that Red Thompson Jr. covered last night. And of course, we'll have that story with more details as well as the school contract in an upcoming edition of the Telegram. All right, at yesterday's Vinton County Commissioners meeting, this sounds a little boring, statistical, but it is so important, and so we're going to tell you about it.
Okay.
There's a thing called LMI. That is a governmental acronym for low to moderate income.
Okay.
All right. And oftentimes, eligibility for grants for a whole plethora of things
Yes.
involve whether your population or part of your population is LMI.
Right.
Well, we are in Appalachia, and we have a high percentage of LMI.
A lot of that.
We might have a section of town that's LMI, another section that is not. That's just sometimes the way it goes. In Vinton County, they were scratching their heads, the commissioners were, because part of the county is no longer LMI. If your county is below 50% LMI, you're not as eligible for certain funding or a certain percentage of funding. They say, hey, your population is not all that poor. You can pay your own
Gotcha.
freight a little bit. All right.
Okay.
So the commissioners, the figures they got from the High Valley Regional Development Commission indicate that in Zaleski, 32.3% of the population is LMI. It was over 50 the last time they made that statistical measurement.
Okay.
Overall in the county, it is 45.70. That's big because a lot of the grants are at the county level. They want the LMI, even though they want prosperity. For grants, they want that LMI
Yeah,
at
but when you're
50% or more.
At 47%, you may as well be 50 and get help.
Right, and at Wilkesville, it's also below 50%. It's 48.4, and it was 23% the last time they made that measurement. 25, it was 75% LMI. So what is going on?
Yeah, what is going on?
Now in Hamden and MacArthur, they are over the 50% on LMI. It's like it hasn't changed that much. So what's going on
Yeah.
here? Did somebody, make a boo-boo with their calculator or whatever? We don't know that, but that is an issue until it gets worked out.
Who does that figuring?
Well, they got the figures from the High Valley Regional Development Commission, which is
Okay.
the regional arm of the Appalachian Regional Commission. A lot of grants go through there, but I'm sure that those statistics
That
did not.
doesn't sound
They
right.
may have provided the statistics, but I'm not sure they were the ones who calculated them. All
Okay.
right. But anyway, that is a story that we'll be covering with major ramifications for Vinton County.
For sure.
Okay, we had a big story on the back page of Wednesday's paper that we want to point out. We urge all the readers, especially those around Oak Hill and the sports fans, to take a read there. Of course, it is online as well on the telegramnews.com. Indirect access through Facebook as well. You need to be a subscriber to see the story, but it is a story about Doug Hale. We talked about him being inducted into the Ohio Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame. We had a big story on the front end of that. Well, this is the story on the back end. We worked with Doug and got a transcript of the speech he made, which was a wonderful speech, by the way, 23 minutes, and he spent most of the time thanking people. That's just the way he is. But Todd Compston's story, which is in Wednesday's paper, covers that speech and also the reason why he got to make that speech and the reason he got into the Hall of Fame. Of course, one of the great girls basketball coaches of all time, not only in Oak Hill, but in our area. That is Doug with his nephew, Weston Hale. He is the current Oak Hill girls basketball coach. So you got a family connection and a jobs connection there. But Doug, of course, he is 5 or 6 years younger than me, but he's still working. He is a workhorse.
Yeah.
He is the superintendent at the Chesapeake School District right now.
Okay.
Doug is with Norm Pearson, and Norm should be in the picture because Norm coached Doug when he was in high school. He was a great boys basketball player,
It
a
just
great
goes round and round.
great
doesn't it?
athlete as well. Norm is already a member of the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame and the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. That's a different one. Players
Okay.
and coaches and other people involved in basketball, just not high school. So, two very important gentlemen as far as basketball coaching there in that picture there. But that story is worth a read. Doug talked about the influences that he had that helped make him a great coach. And I will tell you something that's not all that exciting, but it's a big part of being successful. Work, work, work. It just doesn't happen magically.
There you go.
And that's what Doug did. Doug learned from his elders when he was younger, applied, some of his own ideas on what to do, and just outworked everybody else. And it doesn't hurt to have some good players too.
That's true.
All
Yeah, there's something in the water in Oak Hill. Let's just be honest about it.
Right. Well, Doug was very successful. He was the boys' coach before he was the girls' coach, and
Yep.
did pretty well there as well.
Yep.
All right. We want to also talk about success stories. This story was in last Saturday's paper. Haven't got a chance to mention it yet on Main Street TV, but I want to do it because these two gentlemen deserve the credit. They are Mark Simmons and Brooke Phillips,
Yes.
who were the owner-operators for many years of the Honda Can-Am shop down there on Clary Road. This is a picture that I took for this story. The story, by the way, was written by Alex Shope, and it's one I do not hyperbolize, all right? One of the best business features that I've ever edited and that we have ever published. And I've seen
A
and
couple.
written a few,
Yeah.
all right? But that is Mark Simmons on the left, that is Brooke Phillips on the right. They sold their business. Earlier this year to Iron Pony Motorsports. So it's still there. There's what the business looks like.
Yep.
But they started out basically from scratch, buying Snyder Cycle Shop. They've been in several different locations. They learned by doing.
Yep.
They learned from each other. They worked together. They watched what others did. They had their ups. They had their downs. And just as Todd Compton wrote about how Doug Hale was successful, Alex Shope wrote about how these two men made it happen. And we certainly wish them the happiest of retirements. If you haven't seen that story, it was in our print edition Saturday. It is online as well. And it is worth a read just to see that, if you work hard and stay at it and do not get deterred by the ups and downs, you can be very successful and they can be proud of what they did. A real quick thing is about a couple meetings coming up.
Okay.
We cover these public affairs meetings so you know what's going on. We try our best anyway to stay up with it. The county commissioners are meeting right now here in Jackson County. I know that they're going to address floodplain issues, which is important. We got a lot of floodplains in Jackson County.
Yes, we
and
do.
they do make a difference in a lot of different ways.
Yes.
But Alex Shope is there as we speak,
Okay.
covering that meeting. Later this evening, the Oak Hill Board of Education is going to meet. This is a different day and time than they usually meet. They usually meet last week on a Wednesday at 5:30. They moved it back a week to tonight, actually this afternoon, 4:30 p.m. at Oak Hill High School Middle School. Jeremiah Shaver will be awake by then, and actually he's probably listening to us right now. So Jeremiah, I know you're out there probably, but he is working remote today, but will be at the board meeting tonight covering Oak Hill and what's going on there. And the Vinton County Local Board of Education has let us know, and we want to let the public know through our media platforms that they're going to have a special meeting this Friday at 11 a.m. to hire personnel.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
find out then who that is. Red Thompson
Get the
Jr.
skinny on that.
Red Thompson Jr. will either be there or he will tell us about it. Coming up later in the week, we're going to have a lot of reporting on the 4th of July celebrations. They're all coming up. 5 celebrations: Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, MacArthur, and Wilkesville. And they all kind of shuffle the deck and do different things, and the dates and times are always different because of when the 4th of July is and when they choose to have their celebrations. Some of them are just one day, some of them are more than one day. We had all the information about the Jackson 4th of July in our paper Wednesday. We'll have lots more this weekend about some of those other celebrations and into the next paper on Wednesday before the 4th of July. That'll be July the 3rd.
Very
So,
good.
I have a meeting, and besides, it's 10:01 a.m.
Hey, Okay. All right. Well, Pete, thank you so much.
All right, we're very glad to be here.
Of course. All right. Well, we have to get out of here for the day. We appreciate you all tuning in, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.